Hi everyone, thanks for coming to my Inspirational Women podcast. And today I'm here with Lina. Lina, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah. My name is Lina Samha. I am an Arabic children's author and publisher and founder of Mariana's Word, which is a social enterprise that aims at helping children to um, uh, uh, show more
Mhm.
of and their uniqueness and spread more stories about different voices, especially children with disabilities in my community, because we want to rebrand their image in a social context way to show them to show their power and to tell their stories
Yeah.
um, and to embrace them. Yeah. So I'm also, above all of that, I'm a mother of three beautiful children, Mariana, Jafar, and Mustafa, who always inspired me to do what I'm doing.
Yeah. And also you are a tripling scholar at University of Stirling.
Yes, yes, I am. I am a achieving schooler. I've been chosen among 7,000 application in my country, with other six successful application. Like I am very honored with this, and yeah, I'm now a student in the University of Stirling, the highly esteemed university.
Yeah, and that's how we met, right? We met at the International Festival at University of Stirling in February, and you were telling me all about the stories. So like, actually, can I actually borrow you to my podcast as well? Yes. So
Yes, and
yeah.
it was a nice meeting you, and you are inspiring to me, and you made me think about really uh, we don't know too much about women in China, and always mostly we know about Western women and their the successful Western women, but rarely to know about Eastern part of the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very glad that I met you and I started to even investigate on more women from that part of the world, which is I really appreciate.
Yeah. And I think one another reason is that because we are bilingual and our language also come from different cultures, but even we have to communicate in the common language, English, right? But sometimes I think it's important to bring in new things into English rather in when we speak English instead of like feeling like we have to talk about these people already have a big name, already the stories being told. We want to tell the stories that haven't been told that much. And
Mhm.
so let's come to the podcast. The first starter question would be, what fruit or vegetable would you use to describe your career or yourself?
Well, it is very, very nice question actually. Well, I think for myself, I will choose the pineapple
Pineapple.
because it has a very big, like I can see it as a crown
Mm-hmm.
on that bit of the pineapple, so I can see myself as a queen. I don't know, and it is hard from the outside, but it's
Yeah,
very soft
sweet inside.
and yeah, sweet from inside. So maybe I can see myself as a pineapple. I don't know. And I like pineapple, and also my children and my family, my husband also like pineapple. So let's stick to pineapple for myself.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
um, and for my business or my work, it is like a watermelon actually.
Mm,
Again, it's really risky to be in a publishing field,
mm-hmm.
to believe in a story and to publish it for the whole world and to put all your effort, your uh, to, or your investment like in this, and to publish it as a book, to produce it to the world, and then you don't know if the audience will like it or not. So it is a risky
Mm-hmm.
business. So it is like watermelon. When you open it, you can see if
Yeah,
it is like red
yeah. And before you
watermelon,
don't even
melon,
know.
or
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So yes, this is how I can describe myself and my work.
that's really interesting. Pineapple and watermelon.
Yes.
Yeah. They both remind me of summer though. I don't know about when you have it, like in your country, but where I usually have it in with pineapple and watermelon, it reminds me of summer with sunshine, and then you enjoy the sweet food. And in my hometown, we always have watermelon, and then we peel away the hard part of the green skin, and then we keep the uh, light green melon skin, and then we
Ah,
make it into a dish. So kind of like that's how I
oh,
remember it
interesting.
is. Yeah, it's so interesting to see it. It's kind of like we try to make the full use of this fruit, and it always
Uh-huh.
reminds me of good
To reduce
memories.
the waste, you
Yeah,
mean?
to try to
Huh.
have a bit more zero waste of this. Yeah, it's
Interesting.
quite
And also,
interesting.
let's say, come on, watermelon resemble nowadays
Hmm.
a kind of resistance for
Yes.
Palestinian people, where I am originally a Palestinian.
Hmm.
Originally, my family came from Palestine, so yeah, I also have to church the watermelon.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it is. It's a very symbolic fruit, I would say.
yeah, it's very nice, very
Very.
refreshing.
Yes. And the other question that related to mapping inspirational women when we go to is it's about like a time traveler machine that we are stepping on. Like if we travel back to the past, who are the kind of like top three women that you would like to meet again to thank them for being inspirational to you in your
Uh,
past?
from my past, like um, um, I will say one of my aunts, but
Hmm.
it was she was an old lady, and
Hmm.
I did not have too much time to be around her because she was in Palestine most of the time, and she was old and she passed away. But she was telling me a lot of stories about uh, I don't know, monsters and kind of like witches from
Yeah.
our old. She was a storyteller,
Oh,
so I like how. But I missed a lot of time. I did not see her too much, and they have to be three ladies.
hmm. If you
Mhm.
can think of it's.
Well, from other part of the world, I may, I'm not sure if I can say a name here, but I can say
Mhm.
a tribe of women from
Yeah.
Africa who,
Mm.
I will go to Africa now. I heard a story about a woman who started uh, 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 a group of women where she uh, 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 empower women by
Mhm.
kicking all the men from the village. I
Okay.
don't know why I like her. I feel like, yeah, I will be with this. I will be with her. I will be under her ruling. And she wanted to show that women can do. Um, I'm sorry that I did not. This is. I have to search it. I have to search her name.
Yeah, we
So
will
yeah.
set this later. Yeah, but
Yep.
I think it's quite interesting. I mean, if in a way it's actually easier to live just with women, just like men could do similar thing, like oh, this is man's place. Women could do that too. Like it's not like we're kicking out the whole world. It's just at this village. Can we just have women? Can we just have women supporting each other? I think it's totally fine, and I see it. It's kind of like yeah,
Yeah.
choosing the own way of
They
living
could be
instead of
very
like saying it
supportive.
has to be in a way, has to
Uh-huh.
be kind of like compromise, has to women have to do things to fit in. You could actually feel free to like change it into the way you like. Yeah.
But Hermione, I remember that when I was very young and with my mother, I've rarely seen my father around.
Mm,
He was always working. So it's all about my mom, actually, which
mm,
I really respect and love. And because of I can see her as a strong woman too.
mm,
And I remember that there is a custom that when we have a dish called grape leaves or dawali,
mhm,
where women, where we have grape leaves, we cook it filled. Okay,
mm,
it's very common in Middle East, And usually the women gather to finish it, because it's like
Mm,
a hard work to
mm,
wrap every leaf. Like it is too much work, and it is like a kind of gathering. So they gathered and they do a big box and they share it. So I've been I saw this kind of I don't know, moments, and I was really around Mama and her neighbors, and I think that I've never seen a lot of men around at that time doing the same, but and talking and exchanging, you know, sometimes gossiping, but it was like fun time spending all together, and they are helping each other, supporting each other, whatever it is, like cooking or whatever. But even in their voices, how
mm,
many you can see, you can hear that if someone is in a troubles, they will
mm,
like
mm.
be
I think,
around and support.
yeah, it's about the
So
support and care in this kind of like community when they gather together, right? Yeah.
exactly. But nowadays, I feel this custom is not this is not anymore. It's not. I don't see people or women gather to do that anymore. So I think it was like a mess here,
We could do that.
unfortunately.
So I went to an event yesterday. Actually, they talk about Hannah Arendt's work and discuss about like how the freedom, but kind of like how we change the world related to this. It's I think it's about one person notice we don't have to do what we've been told to do, but could do small changes that to make what we want to see to happen. It may not be very quick or may not go everywhere, but at least in a small
Mhm.
community. Like in this
Yes,
podcast, as we could
exactly.
feel free open up to talk about this, and hopefully in the future that it's not have to be only women are around, then we could do it. Maybe men could join too, as long as they're open minded to see like they need to treat us as equals instead of seeing like, oh, I'm a man, I can explain the whole world to you. Then it will
I
be
will
fun.
I will
Yeah,
only eat. I
yeah,
will
yeah.
no, of course, yes, yes. It started from the smallest things. Yeah,
Smallest
I can
thing, I would
see the
say so.
impact come from the smallest actions.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I totally agree with you.
Yes. So when I say it was this top kind of like three women or three group of women, it's like a symbolic number. It's not like you have to name three. It's just I feel like if we mention about different dimensions and different domains of women figure, that would be a really nice thing to
Yeah.
include it. Yeah.
Yes.
Really good. And now, if we take with this time traveler and move to the present, would you like to tell us a bit more about yourself? Like, what would be the keywords that you use to describe yourself? Or you see, it's also the word that your friends or family use to describe you.
Um, well, actually, I changed a lot.
Mm,
I was for me, for myself. Um, I love that I changed. I love that I've been. I reflect a lot on
mhm,
myself, on my, because maybe I can see myself like more flexible now.
mhm,
I used not to be that person,
mhm,
like and this is because of maybe life gets you sometime or put you in some struggles and test you, and I think I'm a resistance kind of person.
really.
Like I am for myself, I can see myself as a rebellion. Like
Um,
I
yeah,
have objection,
of
but
course.
not. But I am. I worked on that. It is just it's inside me most of the time. Like
Mhm,
because I don't want to look like someone who is. I need more knowledge
mm,
to cover any opinion, to come up with a new opinion of mine. So yeah, I think like I used to be very expressive,
mhm.
um, and now maybe with more knowledge people will become more wise. I'm not sure, but I hope to be wise, more wise. Now for my friends, how they see me, I'm not sure. Actually, I have different friends from different part
Mhm.
from
Yeah,
different like
different parts. Yeah.
So my closest friends, well, I think they know that I'm supportive for them. And one day my friend told me that uh, I am giving too much. Just stop it, Lina. You are care too much because you are really mom.
Hmm.
You are
But
practicing
yeah,
as mom all the time, but
but
it is
mm,
I don't know. I choose to be a mother actually. I
mm,
wanted to be a mother. Uh, so and alhamdulillah, I have three children. So yeah, with my friends also I want to take care of them. I'm not sure.
I would say it's kind of like it's quite interesting when people see someone taking care of others. Either it's friends, they're like, "Oh, you really act like mom." Some of them, my friends will say this to me as well. But I was like, I was just trying to take care of you, and you would take care of me. It's
Exactly.
just a kind gesture, a friendly view. Why you suddenly kind of put into a particular figure? Like, is that only mother would do that? Why father
Exactly.
couldn't do that? Why your sister, why your friends couldn't do that? So it's kind of like it's quite interesting when people say that. Of course, I mean, they probably your friends probably didn't mean anything. It's just that they want to express it's they're being taken care of, and this reminds them of like how mom takes care of them. I just hope one day it's not have to be you have to be a mother to take care of other people.
Exactly. We
Like
can
everyone should
exactly.
be kind and take care of each other when they can. And also, I would say it's very important to take care of yourself as well and
Mhm.
know when to ask for help. And I find a lot of mother figure either I can see it in my own mom as well. It's like they take care of other people, but when they need to be taken care of, when they need help, they're like, oh, I just don't want to bother others. I'm like, mom, tell me, I
Exactly.
can help actually. It's not like it has to be
Yeah.
you give all the love. You could receive love and receive care as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I feel guilty if I receive
Yeah,
any
but
kind
if
of
you do it for
kindness.
your friends, they could do this for you as well. Yeah.
Yeah, we have to
It's a it's
receive
a
more. Yeah.
it's a more kind of I think it's a kind of like a good way to stay interact instead of feeling like I have to
Yes.
give and other people will take it, but it's kind of like a return with this. I would say it's kind of makes you feel more cared by people around you and by the world. Yeah. And another question related to this about this is like, so what keeps you do what you are doing now? Like with your study, with your activism, or with your publishing? What keeps you doing what you are doing?
Well, actually, for my work, I can see that most of the start itself, like I
Hmm.
wanted to support my daughter
Hmm.
to because she is Mariana. She has a cerebral palsy. She was born with a special need,
Hmm.
and actually, I did not know how to deal with her case and how to serve her the best
Hmm.
and give her the best. I just want her to be happy in this life
Hmm.
and to show her that I can see a very capable person here.
Yes.
So this like this keeps me doing because it is a lifestyle. I'm dedicated for her and for all children with
Yeah.
disabilities in my community. I want to show them as capable person
Yes.
you can who have uh, rights and duties.
Yeah.
Like you can depend on them too. Okay, and that's why this is like always I keep remind myself because in this life sometimes you feel like you lost your compass or in some point like why I'm doing what I'm doing in some points like no because I wanted to show children with disabilities and I wanted also to tell their stories. So I keep reminding myself, and Mariana's always around me and she's helping also with the process of production and she's always there. So I keep this like inspiration, it is around me. And regarding also I can see that my family is supporting me a lot, and it is really happening um, uh, like for me my husband, we are from I'm not sure, but mostly he supported me in my education, and he's now staying with my children, and I'm now doing my year in Stirling in Scotland. And it is not easy for me, but for him being supportive, that makes it much easier, and it shows that he believes in me as a woman, uh, as a I don't know, I think he wants to show my children that if you want to do something like, and you have the tribe, the good tribe, then you will be able to do it. So yeah, and also I want to show you how beautiful is, like when you are working. Yeah, those are my books. When you are working in children's publishing, you will be around colors, creative people, artists, and those things also motivate me, like keeps me like I want to do more, I want to do more. The only tricky thing in publishing is that it's really challenging, highly competitive industry.
Yes.
And that's why I approached for the Chevening to give me the support in continuing my study and to know more about this field, because um, like in Jordan or in Middle East, we don't have a course that you can take it as a resource for you to work in professional way in this industry. So yeah, so yes, with more knowledge, I can maybe continue.
Yeah.
Maybe to sustain is my goal. So I will keep having my goal in front of me. I want to sustain this as much as I can, to make changes in this world by spreading more stories that can plant the seeds of making more kind around us.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I keep remind myself of my inspiration and my goal.
Great. Yeah,
and my supportive family.
And I'm glad that University of Stirling, our university, is taking a big role in this, kind of like to providing the world-class publishing courses for you, and maybe not just for yourself as a publisher, to see how this could become a more standard process, a more connected process with international communities from Jordan and go beyond in the Middle East and all the different areas. Because I could see that how this would be empowering the women to get involved with this, because they could see you like, actually this is possible. Actually, you don't have to like just do storytelling by words, by telling the the kind of like fairy tales stories. You could actually write it down. You could even create new stories for Mariana and for more people like her. Yeah, that's a really great thing. I think it is. And I think this also slightly moves us to think about the possible futures. So what do you have in mind? Like you would like to share with people in the future who listening to this, or talk about, and also about what's your next steps? Like you think would be.
Like what I expect for my future. This is like well, the limit is the sky, let's say. Yeah. Sometimes I feel I am very ambitious, and that I want to publish more and more books. Like I put one day I want to publish 1 million book in this. I know it's too much, but
it's never too much. It's never too
I'm just kidding, but yeah, to publish more books, to tell more stories, and to reach now. During my study, I get to know about a research that only 5% of the publication are translated from other languages into English, which is really, it is a global number
5%.
actually, which is, it is 5% from other languages into English. So can you see the English is, this industry is driven by English producers, which is actually something that I want to change. Yeah, and we need to hear more voices, to see, to read more stories from China, translated into English, from whatever, translated into other languages. The translation process has to be more promoted, maybe in the industry. So, because how can we be more? How can I know more about China? I have to read more in
Yeah,
Chinese
yeah,
literature to know how people deal with
yeah.
their daily life, and to
And
exchange, like even in fiction. Um,
it's so
yeah.
interesting because yesterday, not actually yesterday, the day before, my friend in Brazil said similar thing to me. She's a geography teacher, but also a PhD student in geography education. So she said something. She wanted to do something called "From and slash two children around the world." She saw that in Brazil there were one of the tribe or the communities. They start to record their life and to talk about this is our life. And of course, I haven't checked it, but they probably did in Portuguese. And she's bilingual. She speaks Portuguese and English. And she hoped this
Uh-huh.
could be. She asked me if I could find some Chinese geography teachers to do this, to talk about like everyday life, like how do they go to school, and how it's like a typical day in China, or she would do similar things. It's how it's like in a typical day
and now
in
and now Hermione,
Brazil.
with the social media, and people are more exposed to different sources. Like
Mm,
we are
mm,
not just depending on the um, television, and the we can exchange. We are more close to each other.
yeah.
So yes, I feel like this is really interesting to know more. Like even I tried, or because it's really hard to find a teacher
Hmm.
in a Chinese language teacher in my home, and I we tried to teach to teach one of my children, Jafar, to speaking Chinese, and he
Oh, I
started
want
and
to be a
he liked
Chinese
it
teacher to a
actually.
young girl.
He,
It's
it is
good.
hard to be that like, to have like we hired once one very lovely lady who was married to a Chinese man. So yeah, but still, and he was very interested to know how Chinese people uh,
Mm, yeah.
dealing in their daily life, and even he has a global map on on the wall of his in the room.
Mm.
So he wants to visit this and this and this. And he is very picky. Like he wants to go to Russia, and some part of China, and some part of Finland. I'm not. He wants to explore.
Just want to see the world. I think
Yeah.
that's great. That's in a way it's kind of like the kids. They have their own curiosity and they don't know that much about it, but they have this internal driven curiosity to know more about the world, and that's
Yes.
really I think something parents and the people around them need to be very careful with it to support them to keep this curiosity with them, because then they were like, yes, this is my world as well. They won't feel like they've been others, they've been inferior than some other people. They will have the confidence to say, this is my world, the world is my
Yes.
oyster. Yeah.
And also to keep the identity,
Yeah.
Himani, like this is how it's happening here in China. We don't want to change it. We don't want to be influenced by others. No, this is how it is, and it is, and they like it like this, and like it's always their choice to change the whatever it is there, but we have to exchange the knowledge in this level, like to know to church each other identity. Like I like it to see like you will see the how children in my country, how they deal in the schools, and how they wake up at 6 a.m. and come back at 12, and yeah, so it is interesting. Like what are they doing during the day when there is no sea, let's say, or there's, because in Jordan there is no beaches or sea, so what
Mhm.
they do. So yeah, it is kind of lovely exchange of culture.
Yeah. I would say so. I think also it's good because you are working more with children's book publishing. It's kind of like inviting actually children to have a voice in this, to have voices, but with kind of like with adult help because sometimes they need a bit more like professional and artists to make it the more, I think, more to the publisher standards. But
Mhm.
that's great because that's a time like adults and children could actually see each other a bit more in this. And I'm really glad that you're enjoying to study it further in Stirling, and I'm looking forward to see how it's like.
Yeah.
So since you are a traveling scholar, can I ask like after this, you're going back to Jordan. Is there anything that you kind of that's the first thing I want to do?
Yeah. Well, now I will officially open a publishing house,
Hmm.
and to publish for others, because I did not publish for others actually, because I was very feeling like the publishing is itself, to publish others' book, it's a very responsible job that you want to give them. When you write a book and you want it to be spread all over, to spread it, you want to feel the book, you want to hold it by yani. And sometimes and I really feel responsible toward others, so I want to serve them also and to give them the best experience in their publishing, because and I will focus on debut publisher, sorry, author, and because I like to see um, like to explore more voices and to raise up
Great.
this. And one of my career plan is to, hopefully I will do it, is to have a writing retreats, or let's
Yeah,
say
yeah, I think it's
clubs
great. Yeah,
for children with disabilities, to have like them write their own stories
it's
by
really
their
cool.
own voices, and to have like an
Yeah.
anthology of their stories, because
Mm,
as you said, yes, it is tricky to publish for them by their stories.
mm,
And actually, what is happening in Gaza also, um, and in the conflict in the Middle East nowadays, also, I think I can have more, let's say, to work, to have like a role here,
mm.
to highlight some stories. Yeah, even if it is like sad stories, but we need
Tell the stories. Yeah.
to help. Maybe يعني I will try my best actually, but really it is risky.
Yes, there is risk. I think every time when you want to do a change, when you want to change the status quo, which is not fair to many women and children, there is a risk. It's not going to be easy. I won't say like everything you want to do, just do make it. But one of the reasons is that even though we know there are the difficulties, there are the challenges, expected or unexpected, we still want to go there. That's why the kind of possible futures one day become the future we live in. Yeah. And it's near the end of this podcast. So I would like to ask you to ask a question for the future guests. Who's the guest I would invite? And you could also take a look at the questions that people have asked and see if you want to answer any.
Ah, the questions were.
Yeah. So at the second page of the interview outlines I sent you, there is one, but I can also read it to you. So
Yes.
on
uh,
9th
I,
of January 2024, I went to Glasgow Women's Library with two guests, and they asked about when we talk about inspirational women, which writer or the book that, if you have one, first come to your
mhm.
mind? How
Oh,
does her writing or their writing influence you?
well, okay. I will say definitely Adania Shibli, which
Mm-hmm.
is a Palestinian writer and author, and she has. I would like. I like her writing. It is one of her novel, Minor Detail. It
Mm-hmm.
was translated into English and in German and many other languages, and it was uh, nominated for the award for women, and it was supposed to be celebrated in the last Frankfurt Book Fair, but unfortunately they cancelled her celebration because of what is happening in Palestine, and they consider that this is not the right time to celebrate someone's voice. I'm not sure. So, yeah, Adania Shipley is one of the persons that, and I wrote I read the novel. It has a very distinctive way of writing. What she did is that the story is based on a real incident that was posted in the media from Israeli media about a woman who was in 1949 a Bedouin young woman who was killed and buried in the Negev desert, and she wanted to go through this story. So the story is split into phases, or into time phases, back into 1949 and nowadays, and she wants to follow this story and to investigate more. So it is a nonfiction based on a so to take a narrative from the others and tell your narrative. So this is a genius, actually. So yeah, I really I will remember this.
Yeah, I found this book, and I'll put it later when I post out this podcast, so people could give it a look and see if they could buy it or rent it from borrow it from the library. And maybe you could recommend this to University of Stirling Library if they don't have it. Yeah.
No, I will.
Yes. And the other question asked in University of Stirling with an entrepreneur in residence, she asked, "We have heard many successful stories of men as entrepreneurs. What about women entrepreneurs? If you know any, could you tell their stories too?"
From the University of Stirling, you mean?
No, it doesn't have to. I just say this question was raised in University of Stirling when I was having a podcast with entrepreneur in residence. So that's why the question was women entrepreneurs.
Yeah. Women entrepreneur from my country.
Do you know any, or it doesn't have to be in your country?
I know many actually.
Oh, that's right.
Very strong women there. Yes, I will say Reem AlFranji. She is a mother of two beautiful boy who has a disability, and Reem AlFranji, she started habayibna.net, which is a platform to help all parents and caregivers and therapists to be connected together through this platform. And she is doing an amazing job to support this community, the people with disabilities in my country. So I really respect what she's doing, and I definitely see her as an influential woman who inspired me too. Yeah.
Please send me the website of the link that I put in the podcast later as well.
Yes,
and
of course.
Yes, thank you. And the other question raised by the previous guest is, in Royal Geographical Society, and a geographer, and she's the first female woman academic in University of Nottingham in the Department of Geography, and she asked about. In this podcast, we've talked a lot about past and present, and she wants to ask about the future. What is the thing that you are most excited about in the future? Or what is the most optimistic thing about the future that you...
About the future? Well, to be living in more human world. Yeah, to respect true rules and to respect global I don't know, human rights. Yeah. Because we are now in a level, I think the human rights are the level of human rights are not satisfying for me. So
But
I wish the world will become more. I want to see more equality, more diversity, and more respecting for our values in Middle East. And we have like this stigma or stereotyping or something. I don't think that we deserve this. We have lots of educated people, and I would like to see more equal world.
And you'd be the part of this positive change. That's why I guess you're excited about this. It will be more human. With your publishing from the children, they would know about the stories like every human is human. It's
Yes,
equal.
exactly, and we can
move forward for that.
Yes.
What about yourself? Hearing about their questions, is there any question you want to ask for the future guest coming to Mapping Inspirational Women podcast?
Well, I want to ask about, as a woman, what is the challenges that might face you in as for me as an international coming from an international background or from different background, how can you face the challenges, and how can you integrate more and be more like influential for others? Like, what is that? What is this? What do you think? What is the most important feature that you must have or other have to be more influential?
Can I give you my kind of like thoughts on this? Because this is a really question come to my heart, and it is also kind of the question I answered in my thesis. Because clearly you can see I come from China and I came to UK to do my PhD. Has been a long journey for me. I came here to do PhD in 2017, and I had to transfer to University of Stirling in the end of 2020. And of course, now I have finished the PhD, I passed the Viva. But in the end of it, I actually asked myself, I reflected the whole journey of someone coming from a very different culture and context to England and then to Scotland. There's a lot of time I feel I've been othered, I've been marginalized just because I didn't have this first language as English. I'm not a native speaker in this. And people keep picking up things and challenge, like, I don't know if it's your thoughts or it's your English level, but like, I passed all the tests, I passed everything, and you then challenge me just because I may not be grammarly perfect. But gradually I met people that they actually appreciate the ideas I convey, and they would help me with like express my views more clearly. And I would say the challenge is you need to notice the in-betweenness. The bilingual is actually your strength. It's not a weakness. It's not something people should say to you like, you're not as fluent as a native speaker. Oh, thank God, I'm not a native speaker. That's why I could bring in something new. I'm not just repeating the same old thing.
Exactly. And this is the same what at the first when I first put my steps here, I have the same feeling actually, because I can understand everything and but I see it from different perspective, and I have like I don't know if mine is right, or I'm not here to judge, but I feel like wow, it is different. It is something that I want to explore more. How they do that, and even I can, and always I feel in my head, I have lots of ideas. I can do lots of things. So yeah, the English language was and still a barrier for me to convey 100% my message, my what I want to say. But as you said, that it is a bonus actually. It has to be something.
It's about change the perspective. I think that's why University of Stirling, that our university has been really. I'm really grateful for what I have and what I could ask for University of Stirling, and we kind of brand ourselves with be the difference, to make a difference in this, so they
Exactly, be the
embrace
difference.
with the kind of
I like
different
their
views.
slogan. I
Yeah,
really, once I saw, I feel like, yes, be the difference. We,
yes. And
yeah, I
it
like
takes it
this
takes the
slogan.
courage and the kind of you need to
Mm,
take the risk to do that. But if we are all the same, are we actually going towards that we want to see? I
yeah,
I feel like it's a horror film if everyone the same. Yeah.
yes,
You need to
exactly.
respect the difference, the diversity. It doesn't not to be like we have to dress up the same, believing the
Well,
same thing.
I
It's
have
about
another
the see.
question now
Yeah.
for the upcoming
Guest.
interviewer or
Yeah.
interview for you. Uh, what is the, can you tell me a wisdom in your own language
Mm-hmm.
that you want to share it with other women in this world through this podcast?
I I would say mine, and
In
then
your own
hopefully they
language,
will say
and
one.
then
Yeah.
translate it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So I can say mine. Mine is called 路遥知马力，日久见人心. So it's kind of like in the long way, then you will know if the horse could go this far. And in the long time you spend time with people, then you will know how their heart is like. So it's kind of like
Oh,
it takes time.
it
What
takes time.
Yeah.
Exactly. Nice. Oh.
What about you? Do you have one in your
Well,
language?
I just asked a question, but I don't know.
It's fine.
I'm here just asking. Well, there is a lot actually. There is a lot. Like I can say one thing that I write it here in this book that it's
I
okay.
promise this
This
is the
one,
last question I ask you. Just
yeah.
okay.
This is about. Can you see how we open the book from
Yeah.
from the
Yeah,
other
from
side?
the other side. Yeah.
Yes. So it is about a children who a kid who is been through chemotherapy, but we did not uh, say it like that clearly. But he was a friend with a tree,
Hmm.
and it was like a story about hope. Okay,
Hmm.
never
Hope.
lose hope. So this is what I wrote here is
Hmm.
كل ربيع هو أمل جديد. Every spring brings a new hope.
Every
So
spring
just
brings a
wait
new
for the
hope.
springtime and uh, like uh, wait for the hardship of the winter to go,
Hmm.
and then the springs will come back, and the flowers will blossoms again, and yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
we can observe the nature and we can see that
Yeah.
hardship after a very harsh winter, cold winter, there will be a very nice spring. Yeah,
Mm. Yeah. Every
yeah,
spring brings new hope. That's our
yeah.
message to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Yeah. And thanks for listening to the podcast or watching
Thank
the podcast. And we really hope that if you feel touched by this, or if you actually have an inspirational woman you want to talk about, or just to talk about yourself, please stay in contact. Please
you.
drop me a message. So I'll put
Yes,
this on YouTube, but also put on Instagram and a clip on Twitter. So
great.
gradually I'll put everything on a little bit social media, and also with tag Lina when this comes out.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me,
Yeah.
and I hope this will be influential for you, for the listeners. Thank you.
Thank you.